So unfortunately, the Pittsburgh Steelers played football today. Now, if I were to tell you that Team A had 5 turnovers and Team B had 1 turnover in the game, which of those teams do you think would win? Team A or Team B? Now you might be right. Team A won the game. But if I were to tell you that Team A only won the game by a certain amount of points, would you think they won the game by 3 points, 7 points, 14 points, maybe more, maybe a little bit less? Would you think that Team A, with their 5 turnovers, would win the game by more than 1 touchdown? Normally, you would. But Team A won the game by 1 touchdown, by 7 points. And that team is the Pittsburgh motherfucking Steelers. Now, look, a win's a win. Sorry, I gotta flip my chain around. A win's a win. I'm not gonna be upset by winning a football game, but I'm not as excited as I should be because, again, 5 turnovers this team forced. 4 fumbles and an interception on Drake May. That alone should tell you this team, by all aspects, probably should have killed the Patriots. And they didn't. They absolutely did not. As a matter of fact, they kept it close, damn near tied, for a majority of the second half, all the way up until, about 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter when they took the lead. You cannot have 5 turnovers and still almost lose the game. That is a problem. That is an issue. That is, the offense is not doing their job. But at the same metric, the defense only allowed 14 points today. That's good. For a defense that in the past 2 games this year has given up more than 30 points, that is great. And they forced 5 turnovers. But at the same time, the score and the statistics don't tell the full story. This team got torched. I think 2 of those turnovers out of the 5 that we're talking about happened in the end zone for the Patriots on drives that went all the way downfield, took over 7 minutes. They were long drives that should have resulted in scores for the Patriots. The $158 million highest paid defense in the league cannot allow that to happen to them. They got the turnovers in the end zone and stopped points from coming on the board. But at the end of the day, that is a terrible defensive showing again for the third straight week by the Pittsburgh Steelers. And that should not be happening. You got guys like TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, Darius Slay, Jabril Peppers just came on. You've got big bodies in Y.A. Black, Derek Harmon, who just got back. I feel like I'm missing a really big piece. Who am I missing? Darius Slay. But, look, to be honest, I can't remember the big piece I'm missing. But at the end of the day, we've got so many guys on defense. A lot of them are veterans. A lot of them are, first-round draft picks. Guys that, normally make really big plays. And this defense gave up, 4 out of 5 fourth down conversions, a hell of a lot of third down conversions. Again, it's the same thing that we saw last week with the Seahawks, where Kenneth Walker scored 19 yards on 3rd and goal. The Patriots, I think, scored from 17 out on 3rd and 17. It's a problem. It is a big problem. Now, fortunately, the Steelers were able to come out of this week with a win, but they realistically probably shouldn't have. It was another terrible showing on offense, terrible showing on defense. Whatever the 5 turnovers say, it was a bad defensive showing and an even worse offensive output. And the fact that they were able to come away with a win does not change that. It's going to go down as a win on the stat sheet and 2-1 in the book so far, but it absolutely should not have been. If the offense converted on a lot of those turnovers, it might be a different story. The Steelers should have blew the Patriots out of the water. We're not playing Tom Brady anymore. We're not going up against Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, and Gronk. We should not be getting torched like this. The 5 turnovers were absolutely fantastic, but if you don't do anything with those turnovers, what do they really do for you? It took points off the board for New England, but at least 5 turnovers, you should be able to score more than 14 off of that, whether it just be a field goal, whether it be a touchdown, whatever it may be. They went 3 and out on those turnovers, I think 2, maybe even 3 times. So if you take the 2 3 and outs and the 14 points on the turnovers, you've got one drive where you might be able to go down and do something. You got to have more than that. You have to do something more than that. This team, with the weapons that they have on defense, the weapons that they have on offense, DK Metcalf, Aaron Rodgers, Jonnu Smith, Calvin Austin, who I personally think has proven himself to be a good, solid wide receiver too. You've got Jaylen Warren, who could very well be one of the best running backs in the game if we can utilize him right. The offensive line's not fantastic. It's not great. Aaron Rodgers is still getting hit, still getting pressured, but there's so many good pieces of this team that there has to be something more that we can do. There has to be way better plays that we can call, way better schemes we can have on defense. We're getting exposed in zone coverage, and in man coverage, our DBs are getting absolutely torched, letting wide receivers, tight ends, everybody, hey, your grandma in the stands, does she want to come out and run a route for us against the Steelers defense? Because she's sure as hell going to get wide open, untouched for a 10-yard gain. It's a coaching issue. For one. First and foremost, I truly think it is a coaching issue. I love the no losing seasons that we get out of Mike Tomlin. And I truly hate to complain this much after a win. It feels wrong, but at the same time, I feel it's warranted. The no losing seasons that we get from Mike Tomlin are fantastic. But is it worth it? If we have a team that is bad, is it worth it to try to get to 8-8, 9-8, 10-7, whatever it may be, as long as we are not below 500? Is it worth it to take a struggling team? Think back to 2019 with Mason Rudolph, Duck Hodges. Should we be taking this team to 500, to above 500, and missing out on a better draft pick just to keep this no losing season streak going? And it's going to be the same thing this year. This team for the past 3 weeks has looked awful. I hate to say it. I loved the win against the Jets. The Seahawks game was sloppy. This game, we won, but it was sloppy. Even the Jets game was sloppy. It's going to be another 500 season for us. And truly, I think this could be Mike Tomlin's first losing season. But the question is it worth it? No, it's not. People think that Mike Tomlin is such a great head coach because we always go above 500. We squeak into the playoffs. But what do you do with it? You get blown out first round. We haven't won a playoff game in 9 years, and it's looking a lot like the same formula. We're coming out absolutely struggling, nothing going. The defense has to try to carry us, but now even the defense is lacking because we've had such a stellar defense for the past couple of years that it's starting to lack. We got 5 turnovers. Fantastic, but we can't do anything with it on the offense again. And it's going to be back to the same cycle. We might not have a losing season. I think we will. We might not. That's the Mike Tomlin special. The standard is the standard. Go 500, squeak into the playoffs, get blown out by the Ravens, Bills, or Chiefs wild card round, and do it all over again next year. And unfortunately, that's the reality of the situation. That is where we are going to be. We're going to take a team that I think they could be good if we had a competent head coach, the whole coaching staff, truthfully, needs an overhaul. But it starts especially with Mike Tomlin. He's got, is it 1 or 2 Super Bowl wins? I think it's 1. I can't remember off the top of my head. But whatever he's done, no, it's 1 win, 2 appearances. He took a Bill Cowher team to the Super Bowl and won with them. Ever since then, what has Mike Tomlin done? He took us to the Super Bowl one other time, if I can remember, and we lost to Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. And ever since then, it's been pretty much mediocrity in the playoffs. We've made a couple good runs, but even the good runs that we've had are almost 10 years out. The last time we really made a run that I can think of is 2016 when we lost to the Broncos. And I think, what was it? Either the divisional round or possibly the AFC Championship game. I think it was the divisional round. But ever since then, I don't even think we've won a playoff game. It's been 9 years since we won a playoff game. And at some point, you have to hold the head coach accountable for it. The winning seasons and the 500 seasons are great. Don't get me wrong. A lot of teams would kill to have that. But this is the Pittsburgh Steelers. These are the 6-time Super Bowl champion Pittsburgh Steelers who are used to championships and this mentality of smash mouth football, hard-hitting defense. You know, we come out, we make plays, we create turnovers, we go downfield, we run the football down your throat, and we get it done by any means possible. And in the past 5 years, even longer than that, really, I haven't seen it. This is what I'm used to my dad telling me about, is this Steelers team, the hard-nosed, gritty football team that comes out, hard hitters on defense, forcing turnovers, running it down your throat, grinding these games out. And I'm not seeing it. I'm absolutely not seeing it anywhere in any facet of the game. And that's something that we need to get back to. Again, the win is a win, but it could have been a hell of a lot better. And next week, I truly am not. I'm not sure what to expect. Even with the season, I'm not sure what to expect. But something needs to change. Some formula, some scheme, something that we can do to get this team better. Like overall, all around it, in every aspect of the game, it needs to get a hell of a lot better, or it's going to be a bad year for us. A bad year. I truly I don't know with this team. I don't know. It was a win, but sloppy. Terrible win. Shouldn't have been as close as it was.